I want to go ahead and put a disclaimer out. This show will be explicit tonight. So if you have young ones in the room that are under 16, you may want to use discretion. Discretion is advised on this show today. Today's show is called Sex, Porn, and Masturbation. This is a continuum from Seed Part 2, or Seed Part 1 rather. In today's show, we're going to go just a little bit deeper into topic of what all of this means. If you have questions, here's your answer. Today's date is 2019, but the date itself, let's see. It's a little after midnight. August 12th, 2019, Monday. So if you're listening to the show in a car, at work, be advised that the show is explicit. So turn down as needed and sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Before we get started, we're going to go over the show just a little bit, and we'll probably get into not on the mainstream news today because there's so much going on as we know it. But by the time a young man reaches 18, I'll just cap it off at 18 just for starters. From being a young man until 18, he'll probably lose 10 to 20 gallons of sperm easy. When it comes to ejaculation, a guy typically ejaculates, I don't know, you could say maybe 2 to 3 teaspoons of sperm, maybe some even more, maybe 5 teaspoons. So we'll just say 2 to 5 teaspoons, depending on that, depending on diet, depending on how long that person has been abstinent, or whether they, it's a lot of different variables. So I say 2 to 5 teaspoons. And a gallon itself is over 700 teaspoons. So just for a mere example, if, let's just say, a guy was to release 1 teaspoon a day, it's 365 days in a year. Just in one day alone, a man, I'll just speak on behalf of men, will probably masturbate anywhere between 3 to 4 times a day. Okay. In so many words, where am I going with this? That's a lot to lose. And we're going to go in detail more about the seed and the importance of the seed. When you put it into a numerical value, it'll really bring the true astonishment of how much is really lost. You go through the motions of what you want, the sexual desire of what you see and what you can feel, to satisfy the flesh, to satisfy this body, this container. But the spirit cries, the spirit mourns, the spirit is saddened. On the flip side, there's damage being done to our women across the world. Women, on the other hand, are expected to have anal sex. Women in today's time are expected to be involved with anal, to have some type of desire, some likeness for it. And men expect women to do it. So you have in a society today where women are expecting it of themselves this is not something that is just not organically happening. Or this is not something that is organically evolving into the evolution of mankind, if you will. If we go back to whatever eras, we could take it back to the 50s, the 40s, the 30s, the 20s, the 1800s. This was unheard of, you know. This was blasphemy. But now, because of what we've been taught, because of people being molested, because of peer pressure, because of being self-conscious, because of the competition of women, for example, beauty versus beauty. Maybe a woman that is not so beautiful to her eyes, she may feel self-conscious to herself that, since I'm missing in this department, I can make up in this department by allowing myself to expect the guy to expect me to do A, B, and C, and D in this sexual desire to make up for what I don't have. I hope you're able to follow me on this. We're gonna get into it. We're really gonna get into today's show, but just prepare to know the truth and don't run away from the truth. That's very important. Silence is betrayal. If you know the truth and don't say the truth, then the blood is on your hands. It's important that once you get this information, that you pass the baton to the next person, and to the next, pay it forward. Let's go. Yeah, maybe one day you'll awake, or maybe you're already awoken, but don't run away from the truth. We need the truth. Don't run away from the truth. Yeah. Hang in there. Run the race all the way to the end. Run the race all the way to the end. Spending money not the only thing we need to do. Giving money to the poor is what we need to do. A lot of lies in this world, but we need the truth. I know you run away, but we need the truth. I know you wanna run away, but we need the truth. It's like we living in the cage, living in the zoo. Why you wanna run away when we need the truth? Why you wanna run away when we need the truth? Dun, 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 dun. And you already know how we do, baby, on Real TV. I am your host. If this is your first time tuning in, I always just have to welcome you in. So thank you for joining Real TV. Thank you again. If you have been brought to this show for the first time, you're not sent by an algorithm. You'll see that throughout these podcasts and video presentations, you'll get a refresh of some things that you may already know, or you'll get an enlightenment and hopefully a building of faith and spirituality to grow closer to the Most High Heavenly Father. Let's give him a round of applause also. Oh, come on, we can do better than that. Let's go and give it up. Okay, okay. All right. So, I want to get into not on the mainstream news, but before we do, just give me one more moment. I'll be right back after the short break. I just want to give some glory to our Heavenly Father, and let me gather some notes, and we'll get this thing rocking and rolling with not on the mainstream news in just one moment, and we'll dive into the show. Be back in a second. Don't touch that dial. One. All glory to the Most High. He's worthy to be praised. So let us pray. And we'll praise our Father. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Heavenly Father, I thank you for the life you've given me, and I praise you so sincerely, and I praise you so cheerfully. I'm so thankful for everything you've done. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. 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 I just want to take this time to praise you, oh Lord. You deserve the praise, you deserve the praise. Heavenly Father, your kingdom will come on earth. Your word is true, your word is always true, and your word is forever. You change not, but you have given us this opportunity to repent unto you and to live our best life, to do the best that we can. So we honor you, Father, and thank you for everything that you're continuing to do in our lives. You're more than worthy to be praised, Yahweh. Thank you so much, Father. Bless those, protect those, make them men and women of you, O Heavenly Father. Thank you, our Father.
And give the Most High, and give him the praise. He's so worthy, forever and always, and forever and always. And thank you, Yahweh. You save me, and I have to give you praise. Yeshua, you died for me. You were hung on a tree. Lord, forgive me my sins. Lord, forgive me for my sins. I'm wrong for what I did. I'm wrong for what I've done. I know that you're the one for me, the only one. And a lot of time we don't sing, so I sing this song for you.
We truly can't praise him enough. Not on the mainstream news, have you heard about the heat wave that caused nearly more than 400 deaths in the Netherlands? This is just recent now, y'all. This is as late as August 9th in the news. Now, check this out now. Check this out. People cool off underneath a tree during a sunny day in the Voldel Park in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, July 25th, 2019. Almost 400 people more died in the Netherlands during Europe's most recent record-breaking heat wave than in regular summer week. In total, 2,964 people died in the Netherlands during the week that started on July 22nd, which was around 15% more than during the average week in summertime. What does all this mean? What does all this mean? One, the people, let's go ahead and deal with it because we're in the month of August. We're at the brink of 400 years from being brought from ships to the United States as we know it and the surrounding islands of the world in different countries. It is said that the Caucasian race were the gods of Egypt in the movie of the gods of Egypt. It was said that they were Cleopatra and the African kings that we know it. Even though we know today in the world South Africa is whitewashed. Where am I going with this? In the land of Israel, there's a populace that moved to that area from Kazakhstan, from Khazaria, from Poland, from Russia, parts of Turkey, okay, Soviet Union, and they transplanted in 1948 to Israel, which is located in Africa. Africa, as we know it, is one of the hardest countries in the world. How is it that you have a populace in the Netherlands who are just going through a regular summer? They're saying these heat waves all over the United States. Let's just call it what it is. It's summer. It's summertime. It's supposed to be hot. It's supposed to be hit 100 here and there. You know what I mean? That's just normal. Why is it abnormal for it to be hot during summer? If you have over 2,900, let's just go ahead and round up to 3,000. If you have 3,000 people that died in the first week of July, from July 22nd to July 25th, you have 3,000 people that die in the span of 3 days from the heat wave in Netherlands. Is this race of people who are claiming that they're from Africa and claiming that they built the pyramids and been to all these different parts of the world, or where have it, and that black people swung from trees in the jungle with bones in our nose, and that we didn't do anything, we have no culture, and that, they saved us and brought us to what we have today, the Americas. Something is off. I'm not doing this to tease or to make fun of any race of people. I'm just saying that something is off. And this goes to tell you that we quoted as quote unquote the black race are truly from Africa. You could do a whole show on this alone, but I'll just save that for Coming to America Part 2. All right, so let's get on with not on the mainstream news. We do have a lot more. So let's see here. What do we have that we missed out on so far that we should talk about? So let's tally it up. Have you heard about what happened recently? This monster, he let his pals gang rape his wife after losing a bet. Indian man bet his wife in a twisted game of poker, then twice let her be gang raped after he lost, according to a report. The unidentified gambling addict bet his wife after running out of money during a drunken card game with a relative. He then let both men rape her after losing the game. The wife fled to her uncle's house, followed by her husband, who begged for her forgiveness. She let him drive her back home, only for him to stop the car and allow the two men to gang rape her again. Shockingly, police initially refused to file a case, but she finally made an official crime report after taking her complaint to court. There was no information on what is happening with the case. Man, need I say more to that? That alone is just, my goodness. I don't have any words. Not on the mainstream news, Amazon is reportedly teaching police how to get Ring footage without a warrant. So if you have the Ring app set up on your phone and a digital camera set up on your home somewhere, police can get footage from what has been recorded. I'm not sure if you know about that. Texas mounted officers apologized for poor judgment after leading man behind horse by leash. This was just recent, man. If you see the photos of this is just insane. Out in a place called Galveston, you have two police officers on a horse, and they have a black man. Instead of handcuffing him, they put a rope. They got him tied up in rope, and they got him on a leash, walking. I mean, come on, man. Where's the world coming to? But this is what's going on in the world. They're promoting racism. They're trying to start a race war to pop the lid on the U.S., man. It's ridiculous. Colombian hairdresser, 42 years old, was caught with a kilo of liquid cocaine that was surgically implanted in her leg. Is busted at the Bogota airport after security spotted suspiciously limping. Man, if this isn't the worst. man, that these drug lords are gonna find any means necessary to make that transport. I don't know if you hear me on this. You have a lady who got caught in the airport and they found a bag, a liquid bag that was surgically implanted in her leg. They found a kilo of a kilo of cocaine in her thigh, and she was kind of trying to get through the airport. Um, it says a hairstylist was arrested on Monday at El Dorado International Airport in Bogota, attempting to aboard a flight to Madrid with liquid cocaine hidden in her left leg. The 42-year-old Colombian woman was walking slow and in pain when she was spotted by cops, who stopped her after they saw her mood change. The woman, whose name was not released by authorities, had a pouch containing 780 grams of cocaine stuck between the skin and muscle of her leg. She was immediately taken to a hospital where doctors removed the bag, which was placed inside her leg by the drug smuggling ring. Man, if you see the photos of this, man. So they say that the coke was estimated over $36,000 street value. And just getting it over to her destination, she would have made 3 G's off of this. Just by, it's not even worth it. It sounds like it take about 3 G's just to put it in your leg and just to get it removed, man. Is it worth 3 G's? I don't even know if it's worth the 36,000 just to get that. I mean, off of a lick, man. I can't deal, man. That's like at least $1 million. Or bet I don't even know about that, because you're talking about lifetime scars, lifetime potential issues of not walking. Gangrene. They may have to cut your leg off, from infections. You could possibly die. Somebody could accidentally bump you with a cart. You could be running late for your flight. Gotta run. The thing bursts. You die cocaine overdose. You know what I mean? It's just, wow, terrible. The world's biggest cruise ship has robot bartenders and a 9-story zip line. If you see the photos of what it looks like, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. But that just goes to show you that the robots are taking over. Where are they? I can tell you one industry that won't be tapped, and that will be the hospitality market. There's one thing that people will definitely pay for, and that is for service when it comes to staying at exclusive hotels, whether it's luxury, 7-star, 5-star hotels. There's just something about that personable service that cannot be changed. No matter how many robots may be helpful at a hotel, at folding towels, washing the laundry, when it comes to that personal touch, and you got people paying $20,000, $40,000 a night for some of the best hotels in the world, they're gonna want someone to check them in, check them out, and you know what I mean, to handle business accordingly. Let's see. Wow. Louisiana woman reportedly told police meth found in her vagina was not hers. Oh my goodness, man. Have y'all heard about that thing also they got going on called steaming the vagina? I don't know if this is a new trend or a challenge. Do not do that. There's a woman that causes scars, and I don't know the benefits of it, but it's not worth it. Steam, I can barely drink a hot cup of coffee, let alone a bowl of soup, and without blowing the soup spoon, you know what I mean? So why would you want to steam that? I'm not getting that. But yeah, the lady that said the meth wasn't hers, that was found in her genital area. It was over $6,000 in meth. I don't know what's going on with all these deals, man. Dang. McDonald's profits plunge with prepubescent girl kissing and sodomy to help. So McDonald's has two young teenagers kissing, two young girls kissing on a commercial. Let me see what. Oh my goodness, man. All right. So let's see what they're talking about here. Newly designed clear plastic cups show a prepubescent girl and a prepubescent girl kissing in a very innocent and demure manner. But when those same images are viewed from slightly different angles, they show the young children engaged in at three different and clearly adult sexual acts, including two separate instances of sodomy. While most reports are attributing to this just clearly negligent oversight, a hilarious design about these cups. Okay, so you hold the cup one way, and the girl in the poodle skirt seems to be performing fellatio on a young boy about her own age. Tilt the cup at a slightly different angle, and the picture can be viewed as the boy seeming to engage in anal sex, or at least grinding with the girl. The both appear to show the girl holding the young boy's penis. Alright, this is too much. So they banned the commercial and banned this advertisement in the U.S., but now they just shifted it to Japan and Asia. It says a lot about McDonald's. But how long have they been doing this? And they're not the only one to implement the sexual innuendos. You know what I mean? Okay. And we already know about that. Wow. Chicago. Have you heard about the shot? Chicago had so many shootings this weekend that the ER had to shut its doors. It included 3 separate incidences within a 2-hour period, with a combined total of 17 different people that were shot in a 2-hour span. 55 people were shot, and 7 of them were fatally shot. And the ER shut their doors in the Chi. Transgender woman case study shows sperm production is possible, but not certain. So what the scientists at Maggie Women's Research Institute are saying is that, in short, I'm not going to read all of this article here, but you have it where 2 transgender, quote-unquote, women tried to preserve their sperm after stopping hormone therapy. They compared their semen against other quality semen. Transgender women. Oh man, I'm not even going to read this. Listen. You have it where the transgenders, portion of them, want to go back to being their born sex. And they want to procreate. Now, the problem is that when you have a male to female on hormones, that's the problem. They're on hormones. So you have it where they're taking different estrogen pills or shots and different surgery procedures that are manipulating the voice, manipulating the body, manipulating the sperm count, the hormones, etc. After years, even months of being on these things, it takes a dramatic effect on the body. Therefore, when they want to go back, they may have detrimental, irreversible responses to their sexual reproductivity. Meaning that their sperm that once were marathon runners to the uterus are now possibly drunkards. The sperm has no idea where it's going. It's hidden every which wall, can't find the egg or nothing because of the effects of the medicine stuff. I don't want to get too deep into it, man. But listen, they have a new malware, and I don't even want to say that it's new. It's on the phones now, but they have it where this new malware, when you go to these different porn sites, is starting to record you from your phone and your computer. Not just recording merely what you do, but it's recording you. It's recording you. This new malware is called Ferenki. First came to light in May, when this was identified in France. But again, who are we to think foolishly that the industry as a whole, around the whole world, is not involved in this type of thing? All the apps that are on your phone, partially to some way, completely are recording your screen, and probably recording you when you're charging your phone and you see a blinking light on your phone and you think it's just that blinking light. I'm sure 5 times out of 10 it's not just your blinking light that needs to be charged. You're probably being recorded. All right. They have this app called 3Fun where 1.5 million users have been exposed. This 3Fun is a hookup app attending to organized threesomes have been revealing locations. I'm not sure if you know about this. Hope you're not a part of this. But this app has revealed the user's location, latitude and longitude, their date of birth, in addition to their sexual orientation, preferred matches, etc. In regards to Jeff Epstein, come on, guys. We put 2 and 2 together. Either 2 things happen. Either one, he paid someone to allow him to commit suicide, if he did. Or 2, he was just murked. That's just how the industry goes. He knew a lot of influential people. He was friends with the elite. He was friends with bankers. He was over a $15 billion portfolio under the Federal Reserve. So, it says a lot. Could this be a conspiracy? Or could there be some truth to his death? We do know that on record in 2002, Trump did make a statement that you can find online in regards of Epstein. He said that something along the lines of that Epstein is a great friend of his, he's a terrific guy, and that he likes beautiful women just like he does. He did say the only difference between, one of the differences is that Epstein is interested in a lot of younger women, or younger girls. Something along the effects of that. But in regards to all these shootings that's going on, we already know they want to take the guns away, and they will be successful. They will be successful. Keep in mind that just not too long ago, the U.S. invested in over 1.5 billion bullets, hollow tip bullets, and that there are foreigners that are being trained in the U.S. that are still here to this day. What are they being trained for? Because the soldiers won't take their own kind. So you would need an outside force to help come in with martial law, if things were to hit haywire. But it's all a part of the plan to take the guns away, which is going to be tough to do at first, but eventually they're going to get people to beg for it. If these shootings keep taking place around these major cities and different shops and nightclubs and wherever, you know what I mean? People are going to beg for safety. People are going to beg for security. People are going to beg for it. They're going to ask for it. Okay. So that's just my take on that. That's what not on the mainstream news. Today's show is called Sex, Porn, and Masturbation. Some of the topics that I do want to touch on, again, is that it is detrimental to our seed. Our seed is very important. And there's a lot of uh, uh, um, there's a lot of ways that we've been taught to subconsciously and consciously dwell within our minds. You know, again, we've been taught to throw our seeds away once we finish eating them. We've been taught that the apple seed is poisonous, it contains cyanide. But we understand that after research, eating a few apple seeds won't hurt you. I put a disclaimer on that. Depends on your health. But, I mean, you'll have to eat literally like 100 apple seeds in one setting to get cyanide poison. You know, they tell us that a watermelon seed will grow in your stomach. You know, I mean, a lot of the things that they tell us is in reverse. They tell us that the seeds are bad for you, throw them away. That's just like they tell us that the organs of the meat are bad for you, that you shouldn't eat them. Well, the heart, the kidney, the liver, these type of things, they have more nutritional value than the muscle itself. Though the liver uh, um, helps with toxins being passed through the body, toxins are not stored within the liver. So yes, beef liver can be eaten, duck liver, liver and onions and peppers, it has a lot of B12, quo, 10 and a lot of magnesium and iron. It has 3 to 5 times as much as the muscle itself and is very, very beneficial and nutritious to you. But if we were to look at it and think of it, it's taboo. It's like, ooh, no, hey, I'm not eating that. It's like, what? What do you say? Eat what? Huh? Who? You know what I mean? It's taboo to us. It's not on our shelves. It's not in a packet. It's not in a can. It's not promoted. So when we think of it, it's like, don't do that because you weren't taught like that. You weren't raised like that. And, it's like that with a lot of things, you know. Um, Sexual innuendos are all over the place in regards to sex. You can't go anywhere without hearing or overhearing someone saying about their meal in regards to eggs, which to one at first you're like, what, eggs? Well, what do you mean? Well, to someone that is more conscious, they'll understand. When a person says, I want my eggs over easy, I want it over hard, I want it over medium, it's referring to sex. Why is the word so sexual? You know what I mean? Why at a bar or at a auto shop, if you have a little in your glass, a person is like, top me off, or if you at the dealership and you need an oil change, they'll be like, do you need an oil change or a top off? You know what I mean? Stuff like that, little things. To the word therapist. The word therapist, it relates to the word therapy. Therapist, the rapist. Therapist, the rapist. Which our true counselor is our Heavenly Father, the Most High. Why should we go with someone who has papers on psychology and sociology when all the person who is going to therapy really wants is someone to talk to? Therapy is those car sessions that you sit in the car, you know what I mean, with the windows rolled down, seats laid back. Those are like therapy sessions, you know what I mean? Just sitting back, chopping it up, you know what I mean? Going out to dinner, lunch, you know what I mean? Just talking with someone, that's therapy. But they want you to go to a therapist, the rapist. They want you to go to the rapist. Why are words with ER at the end sounds like it's retaining to a woman, like corner. I need to go around the corner. I need to corner, even though corner is like a block, like a corner store on the corner. It's almost like corn her, like put a corner, like corn her, block her, distinguish her. annihilate her. You know what I mean? Even though it's annihilate her or now, you know what I mean? What's up with like her? It's just, I don't know. When you really think about it, how are we being trained? Why are these words so? Why are these words like sexual innuendos? You know, if you're checking in at a hotel or if you're at the grocery store and the chip reader isn't working, right? And like you have to sign on the little machine after you enter your PIN or something. But the little pin on the little debit card and credit card machine isn't working. So there's a little sign that says pin is broken, please use finger or something like that. Or like I don't what's a good one, man? Like happiness. In the word happiness itself is the word penis. Happiness, penis. The English language is just so, man, so evil in ways, man. Like you have these words with double meanings. Like, oh man, it's just so much, man. And I'm trying not to go off guard here, man. But you kind of know what you're saying. It's thousands upon tens of thousands of words that we can distinguish in regards to that and sexual innuendos. Okay, but man, in regards to sex, as we talked about in the earlier part of the show, a young man can lose a lot of sperm by the time he reaches 18 just from masturbation alone. We're not even talking about sexual encounters with different relationships and things of the such. We're talking off just that. What are the effects on the body? What is the scientific research on that? Is there any analysis that we can look at, that we can read upon? And we haven't even touched on the women yet. But this is just in regards of men. In the common sense world, what are the effects of the world if we just keep taking all the seeds out of the fruits and vegetables? What are the effects, the long-term effects of that? We'll no longer be able to reproduce those things which we currently enjoy. It makes you wonder about the seed vault in Antarctica. Why they have over 1 billion seeds in the crevice of the ice being protected by top flight security. Right now, to this day, bananas. If there was an epidemic with bananas, it can wipe out all the bananas in the world. Because there are no more banana seeds in this world. A banana to be eaten in this world today is planted by the tree itself. So if there was an epidemic at, you know what I mean? Anything could just wipe out all the bananas in the world. In regards to seed, when you think about it, and we're going to get into the sexual part of it too, but just like when you think about the earth as we know it is on 4 pillars. There's a dome. If you don't know, you can do the research. But there's a circle of our earth and there's a dome. We don't live on the ball. Okay, so if the earth is a dome, then the analogy to earth being a dome is earth to dome, plant to greenhouse. So if the earth is under a dome, then a plant could be under a greenhouse and grow, because the sun is under this dome. So if a plant could be in a greenhouse with a light within the greenhouse, then it's replicating the effect of the earth. Does that make any sense? All right, let me not go too far off. How can we talk about this? Before we get into this, I'll give another brief overview of myself, which I don't necessarily talk a lot of, but to let you know that I'm not perfect. I'm just a young man that happens to be in love with truth. And there's just something in me that just has to get it out. It's like a needle. It's like a splinter in your hand, or like salt on your wound, or like smoke in your eyes, or vinegar on your teeth. It's like you have to get it out, you know? And that's how the truth is with me. And I was shy as a younger man, as a young boy rather, um, that happened to develop into being more outspoken. And I let you know that I am imperfect because we are all imperfect. Of course, we already know that we're all human, for the most part. You gotta put that on there because there's some demigods walking around with human skin on, claiming to be human, but they are not. Moving right along, the scripture says that there is none good, no, not one. And I never portray myself to be perfect. I never to portray myself in the light that, I'm holier than thou. I have issues just like everybody else has issues. I try to work on my problems just as if everybody else try to tackle situations in life. And I do want to point that out to you. So I'm not a preacher, I'm not a pastor. I just happen to share certain things that happen to deal with scripture and happen to give my point of view. I'm not ordained or anything. But I do want to relate with anyone who has been through anything in the likes thereof, or was going through something similar to what I've been through. But by the age of 4, I was either 4 or 5 years old. I could barely remember, but I know it was at that range. It was 4 or 5. I know because one of my younger sisters were 4 years apart, and I know she wasn't born at the time. So it was either 4 or just turning 5 when I was introduced to porn. There's a cousin in my family that showed me a treasure that he happened to find. And one of my uncles had over 30 different porno magazines under his mattress. And I remember first seeing it and being totally disgusted and running out. And then I remember going back to look under the mattress to see what I saw. And what was it? What was that I saw? I was just curious to see. And, I found it disgusting. And then over time, over a few weeks, I ended up watching, stealing the magazines. And by the age of 6 or 7, I was actually watching full-fledged porn tapes. In between 5 and 6, I was molested. And throughout my life, it happened once. Or twice from what I remember, which I'm not going to get into detail into that, but I remember that sticking with me as I would grow to my teens and as a teenager, that it really bothered me, and I felt less of a boy. I felt less of becoming a young man. And being involved with watching so much porn and being molested, I felt that to be a man that I needed to be sexually active. So by the age of 11, I attempted to have, sex on my own. 11 to 12, in 6th grade. And from that age on, I became a player and I was involved with different many women, you know, throughout my teens and high school and college and things. And I'm not proud of it. And at the time I was. And, I just felt that being involved with more women, watching more porn, was going to take away what happened to me. It would balance out, of my innocence being taken away to make me be more of a man, you know, to having my family and peers, or you can't even say peers, but associates and colleagues, you know, putting peer pressure on you to have sex, or to say, if you go down on a girl, put some hair on your chest, or, whatever, and, um, so in essence, I do have my share of experiences, and, um, I'm not perfect. I've gone to strip clubs. I've paid prostitutes. I've done some of these things, and I've watched porn. I've had issues with this all my life, so I know what you're going through. I've watched it at work. You know what I mean? I've been there, and I want to show you, or at least inspire you, that you can make it through. You know, um, so that's just my story. Really quick on that, but sex is sex brings pleasure. We know that. But self satisfaction is almost like rape. It's almost like rape. Even though it seems like it's not, but we all know that it's something special. But we don't know exactly how special it is. The industry doesn't care about the women in porn. The women in porn are degraded, they're humiliated, they're called sluts, whores, cunt, whatever. They're expected to do anal, DP, orgies, um, have sex in every way. They're expected to do it, and that's what the viewer wants. That's what the viewer expects. That's what they make. That's how they make money. We've heard through the grapevine that porn stars get tested once a month. Okay, just like the girls at the brothels and in Amsterdam, the sex house, the whore houses, they get tested once a month, every 30 days. Okay, now it sounds good on the upfront, like, oh wow, they do get tested once a month, so they should be clean. And in porn, nobody wants to watch anybody wear a condom. So we know that there's an issue there. There's all type of venereal diseases, all type of diseases, STDs going round and about. What you're not concerned with is the fact of the matter is all the diseases in between time from that test of being tested once a month. We're not realizing in the fact that, of course, these can be our mothers and our sisters, our aunties, our grandmothers. It can be a family member. We're not worried about that. Um, as long as you don't see one and it doesn't mess up your fun, then it's not a problem, right? But we forget about the vaginal tears, the anal tears that they have to go through. We forget about, or we're not considering the fact that they have to take several different painkillers and different antibiotics, or certain over-the-counter medicines. Like if they could just get their hands on morphine just to ease the pain or whatever it was or whatever it is. It's just so much. It's just so much that is detrimental to our society, that is brainwashing us. You know, even to an extent, though we can purify ourselves and repent and pray unto the Lord, if we're not doing those things, and if we get married, and if a person that is on the verge of getting married is still masturbating and is still fornicating, should that person still wear an all-white dress when the white is considered to be poor? I mean, pardon me, not poor, but pure. The white is considered to be a symbolic color of purity and virginity. Even though a person may lose their virginity, but is it still right for a woman or a man to wear all white at a wedding? Or should they wear cream? Or should they wear off-white? If they're still being involved with the fornication and masturbation. It just makes you wonder. It just makes you wonder about these little things, right? Give me a moment. Let me get some water. And take a short break. I'll be back in just a moment. We need to set some goals. It's very important that we set goals to change and do better. We're going to play 2 back-to-back, and I'll be back in just a moment. We have goals, and we have a old classic called Voicemail by yours truly. I'll be back in just a second. Real TV. You say if it comes from the heart, then it's heartfelt. So I want this to come from the heart. So here it goes. It's about 1:45. I'm chilling at the crib. I got a lot of goals. I want to marry my rib, but I gotta build a crib. I gotta get land. It's a lot of gays. It's a lot of trans. Supply and demand. She know I'm the man. She know I'm the man. Even though I peacock just like a bird and my feathers be out like a fan. I'm black and I be out in the sun. I mean, even though I'm black and when I'm out in the sun, when I go home, it's funny cause I'm tan. I got a lot of goals. I wanna go to the beach and bury my feet. I gotta keep it real for y'all. I run real TV, so I mean I gotta keep it 100 with y'all. So you know me, and so I gotta teach. And it's funny how when I keep it real with y'all, some people say that I can preach, but it's a lot going on. It's a war going on. What you gonna do when the banks close? You don't know? I don't put money in the bank. I put the money on the bookshelf. But I ain't gonna say much though. I don't need to say much though. It's a lot going on though. But I still got goals though. You know? I still pray. I still pray. Like every day. I don't go to the club though. And this is Saturday though. I mean right now it's Friday. And I'm chilling at my place. I don't go to the club. But I got a lot of goals. I need to go to the store. I need to work out. And I want to eat salads. And I want to write ballads. I got talent. At least I think so. Well, at least I know so. When it comes to the truth, I don't even need a boo. I got a lot of goals. I want to have children, but this world's so crazy, so I don't know about children. But if it comes, I don't know what to say though. But I got a lot of goals though. I gotta get to heaven though. We gotta get to heaven though. I got a lot of goals though. So I hope you got goals too. Baby girl, stay close to me. Hold up. Let me play this Josie. I got this feeling you should own me. I can tell by the way that you're holding me. I would like to get to know you on a different level that I've never, ever been on before, ever. My pillow is stored in your mind, inside of your mind with my pillows and covers tonight. To spend the night in your mind, to get to know you and yours. Your mind, I'm yours. Baby girl, I know that you have been hurt. I know that I can't fix that. We already know that I can't fix that. I mean, I'm sorry, baby girl. Look, I know this is a long voicemail, but I gotta get this voicemail across to you and your heart, babe. I got to get this voice out. I need you to hear my voice now. I know I had about 5 drinks. I know right now that I can't think. I know this song is a freestyle. I know right now that it's been a while. And if it's been a while, in the meanwhile, I gotta let you know right now that my heart is on my sleeve. My heart is on my sleeve. Will you accept me? Would you care for me like I care for you? Listen, I can't take that back. That thing that I did, I can't take that back. I love you. Look, I love you. And I promise that. I mean, look, let me scratch that. My yes is yes, my no is no. I ain't trying to promise nothing until the time is right, but I don't want you to stop believing me or nothing. I know that was crazy. I know. That wasn't even on the beat. It's not even on the beat. And I know I'm talking. And I know I'm drunk. I know I'm sleepwalking. And I know that my heart talking. And I know that I'm heart stalking. And I know that you know me and I know you. And we've been through some old stuff that we can't change. But I'm a change man. I got new plans. I can get that car. I can get that house. I can get that crib. And I got that dough. And I keep that money coming in through that door. You don't gotta worry about nothing. You don't even gotta work. I'll be a good man. I could try to start going to church. I am a good man. I am a good man. I wasn't a good man. I'm trying to be a great man. And I really got a great plan. I mean, like 5-10 years from now, I see so many things that I can't even talk about right now. I gotta go. This voicemail long. I gotta go. This song is too long. And we're back. Real TV, your host. I had to get a quick snack real quick. And I hope you're enjoying the show thus far. And speaking of seeds, I made a little quick melody of red grapes, green grapes, black grapes. None of them got seeds in it. I mean, it's hard to find a fruit with seeds nowadays, man. It's like the flavor is just gone. It's just so bland, man. But like, dang, I mean, even the organic seeds say seedless. If somebody could find me a watermelon with some black seeds, the classic seeds, man, I don't know. Somebody, hey, put me on, man. But in regards to the marriage thing, is it okay? Would it be okay for someone that's still masturbating and fornicating right before marriage to still wear all white? Or should they still wear it because of the way they feel? And in regards to honeymoon, what's the moon? What's the whole reason of going on road trips and plane flights and catching a train or the purpose of even going um, anywhere else for a honeymoon when you're most likely are already dating and taking trips as it is. You're already honeymooning. So, and then where did that come from? You know? All right, but let's get back on the show. The show is called Sex, Porn, and Masturbation. We understand that porn is the largest and most profitable industry in the world. The most profitable industry in the world. This includes, pardon me, this includes prostitution, strip clubs, phone sex, pornography, and all this. All this is in one bundle, okay? Prostitution, strip clubs, phone sex, pornography. Alone, they make more money than the NBA, the NFL, and the MLB combined. They make more money than NBC, CBS, ABC combined. They make more money combined. The porn industry makes more money combined than Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, Netflix, Yahoo, eBay, all of that combined. Porn is the most profitable industry in the world, period. There is no punchline. There is no other fact. Why is that? It's something to deal with the seed. Something to deal with the seed. We'll get into that shortly. But 70% of all internet porn, 70%, yo, statistically speaking, of all porn traffic takes place at the workplace from 9 to 5 every workday. So 70% of all the internet porn across the entire world, people are watching it at work. Don't tell me you ain't never took your phone and watched porn at work, or was watching images you shouldn't be seeing, or haven't. I mean, you could count sexting. You can include sexting in with that, sending photos, news, whatever. All that is included in one bundle. Okay. But I mean, these are the numbers here. You have it in the industry where the porn stars are having hour-long sex and then some. Sex just going on and on and on. Just long sex. They don't show you just a 2-minute clip, 5-minute clip. It's hours long. It's a whole scene, Hour-long sex is not normal. You have to understand that. Just think of a lion in the jungle. A lion don't take that long. It don't take that long just to get the job done. But you can enjoy the drive along the way. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Not saying that you can't go for an hour, but it doesn't take that much to get the job done. Or it doesn't take that much for an experience. So you have it in the industry where people are taking pills. The men are taking pills. They're injecting their penis with needles right before the show. Right in the middle of the show, they take a break, do an inject, come back. In between scenes, they got a button. They got it now where they got a button under the nuts, under the scrotum. The men have a button literally under their balls. And in the scene, the woman can press the button and the man can get an erect penis. Just like that. Just like that. You think it's science fiction? It is not. It is not. Literally. Just like a lazy boy chair goes up. Just like that. Man. We're not even including sex trafficking in the industry on this. We're not even talking about sex slaves. In regards to sex slave, there's sex slaves in front of you that you wouldn't even think are sex slaves. The ones that you see on social media. Now, this is not to say that every person that is admirable in beauty, or every beautiful person rather, I'm not saying that. But I am saying this, that there's a percentage. I can't give exact numbers because I don't know, but there is a percentage of women in general who are sex slaves, who are on social media, who are not just there for makeup tutorials and all this stuff. There's a portion of the women that you see on social media that are so-called traveling the world, putting out all these outfits, these bundle outfits together and stuff. They're not who they think. They're not what you think they are. They're not who you think they are. They don't just get to travel the world for free because of their beauty. Some of these women go over to the Middle East, out in Dubai and out in Abu Dhabi and all this stuff. These very how can I say? They go to these countries that have laws completely different to what we have here in the States. They have princes and kings and stuff, and they have demands in their positions. And some of these influentials, not just the princes or kings, but other elites, they go to these areas and they get these women from social media, from these videos, and wherever else they may see so fit. They get these women and they run through them. They have different guys go through these women, yo. After they done with them, they just pass them through. And these women do whatever is asked of them to do in that short span of time. Whether it's one day, whether it's a week long, whether it's a month long, 3 months long, they get run through. All these guys. So bad, so terrible. As a guy, at first you might think, no. Don't think like that. It's not what this show is about. This is about the effects and the trauma that is not being talked about. These so-called beautiful women, some of them that go over there have life-changing effects in their life now. Where there's a pool of blood on the ground from so many men that just ran through them. They call them porta potty girls. Where they do everything in the book and then some, just to get a few dollars, just to get $50,000 in a night, $1 million in one night, 10 million in a night. What's a couple million to these high influential people? There's different levels to the scarring. You have it where people in relationship are going from relationship to relationship, and they're having mental scarring, spiritual scarring that will last a lifetime because of the different involvement in relationships and being sexually involved with someone that you was connected to that you're no longer with, which you can get over, but it will take time. You have it where the stripper level is another level, where in some cases it is detrimental. It is completely life-changing for the worst case scenario, where strippers can not only, of course, be raped and taken advantage of, but a stripper is another level of sexual scarring. See, a stripper can get by with dancing on a man that has his clothes on, and they're touching them, or they may get touched a little bit. You know what I mean? They may grab something or whatever. You have a few that go outside the boundaries and they get paid to do a little extra after the night to go home with. They bring a girl or two because this guy seems like a big baller. They want to rake in some money or whatever. So they go beyond the feeling and touching, the dancing. Okay? But then you have it where prostitutes is another deeper level of trauma, where they have so many men that they've been with and that have been involved with physically, that it messes with the mind psychologically. It messes with the spirit on a spiritual level, and it could bring them down to a deeper low, a low that could take years to get off of. Let alone the porta party girls who can have all this money so quickly to buy any bag they want, get any car they want, buy the place of their dreams in a urban city, but yet you have scarring and memories and DNA issues, probably because all the men that went in there raw and unraw and STDs and diseases you need to clear up now, and diseases that won't clear up now. So there's different levels that we tend to disregard just for our own sexual pleasure. And we can't do that. We have to love our neighbor. We have to love our neighbor as we would love ourselves. We have to morph. We have to disregard being standard. We should never settle for mediocrity, but to excel for excellence. To strive for excellence, to be better each day. You know what I mean? We have to evolve over watching porn, evolve over masturbating, evolve over, you know what I mean, making love with somebody that's not your own, that's not your husband, that's not your wife. You know, recently I made a proposal. I made a challenge. I made a challenge to write a poster. Get a marker, write a poster and put do not fornicate, do not sin, all these things. But you know, what good is it to put these things up if you're not going to abide by them? What good is it there to put an alert on your phone to not do these things, or to write it on the calendar, or whatever means that you see so fit, so you can physically see if you don't abide by it? Not saying that you should disregard your poster, but you know, to each their own. If you have a different way with coping and developing as a woman and developing as a man and enhancing your spirituality to become more righteous, then you have to do what's necessary and more beneficial for you in that regard. When it comes to sex, again, we understand that Hollywood is in control of the industry. And that the people that are in the industry that are in control of porn, a lot of them are homosexuals. Some of them are transgender. And then you have another portion who are just entities. They're demigods. They're pretending to be human in a human-like skin. With that being said, the violence against women is particularly there because of the people who are in the industry, who run the industry. They have a disregard for women. They hate women. You have to refer back to the book of Genesis, when there should be enmity between his seed and her seed. Enmity between the seed of Eve, enmity between the seed of Satan. This has to do with the seed. In the book of Genesis, it also talked of us to be fruitful and to multiply. That's in regards to the seed. This is sex, porn, and masturbation. Seed part 2. So, in regards to the sexual violence that is being portrayed in the film, not only are men being brainwashed to accept the violence and the misogyny against women, and it could confuse a woman from an outside perspective looking at the man who watches porn thinking, oh, he's misogynistic. He hates women. Because if you watch this type of porn, you obviously hate women. But from a man's perspective, he may not hate women, but he may have a particular desire to do certain things with a certain class of women. Sluts. With that being said, men watch porn to get even with women they can't have. This is a secret, ladies. Listen close. One of the reasons that men watch porn is to get even with the women they can't have. A man could see a woman in any particular time of the day. And men now, I'm probably sure on your job, go to the bathroom every 20 minutes with their phone. FaceTiming on their phone, flipping through pictures on their phone, because they see a lot of women that they can't have, and every time they go into the bathroom, I guarantee you they're not going to use the bathroom. Everybody got a bladder infection now. Before, it was a thing where if you had to go to the bathroom so much, you either had some type of bladder infection or something was going on. Now everybody going to the bathroom every 20 minutes. Everybody need to be a way to check their phone. Everybody's not just texting no more. There's different apps for this and that. Who knows what people are doing? But you know what you did. You know what you're doing. You know what you're trying to stop if you're trying to stop. And if you're not trying to stop, you should try to find a way to morph into a better person, to be a better you. Your soul doesn't want that. Your body might, but your soul doesn't. Men watch porn to get the girl they can't get. It's a way, they set it up in a way where, they set up in a way that they want the men to believe. So a man could watch the porn. He see a woman, doing it this way and doing it like that, doing it like this, blase, blase. So he expects, or he would desire to have sex the way that they're doing it like that. As a test trial, at least. You know what I mean? How can I say this, man? They're programming the minds of men and women. And again, if they're showing violence in the film, that's how they want the men to act towards women. They want the men to have violent sex with the women. The same way that they see it fit in the film. Whereas it should be a spiritual and deeper connection. You know what I mean? It's degradation. Degradation is becoming normalized because Hollywood hates women. Even Cinderella was humiliated in certain ways. You know what I mean? Every character. I mean, Beauty and the Beast, they got her being degraded and humiliated, having sex with the Beast. Beauty and the Beast. I mean, we could do this all day. I mean, Alice in the Wonderland. I mean, come on, man. But this is the industry that we're talking about. We're talking about sex, porn, and masturbation. Anal sex is a part of the script in porn. It's normalized. That it is what it is in that industry. 60 to 75% of the women in that industry now are expected to do anal sex. Period. And nowadays, a guy won't even date a girl. There's guys that won't even date women that don't do anal sex. If a girl doesn't do anal sex, it's a no-go. And then you would think, well, doesn't that make him, homosexual, gay, or what is it? Why does a man want to do that? Why would a person want to do that? You know what I mean? When he has the same thing. It's what's being taught to the man. It's what he's watching. How he what that is what's playing a part. He's watching it so much that, or he has watched it so much that he wants to do it now. That's the problem. Seed. Put your seed in the dumpster. That's what we're being taught. Instead of procreate, you know what I mean, in the vagina. No, it's no, put your seed in the dumpster. Put your seed in the anus. Bust a nut in the anus. We just gotta call it what it is. Anal sex. Cream pie, all this stuff. But the fact of the matter is that the same thing that is being delivered to the world in a sexual way is being delivered to the world on a edible way. They're literally throwing out seeds in a dumpster, man, as we already discussed. So again, there's something about the seed that they do not like. Well, when you say who is they, you have to include someone else in that. The devil. The devil does not like the seed. So whoever is a part of that is the opposite of the Most High, because the Most High gave us clear instructions. Satan is giving another set of instructions. So at what point are we going to choose to do what's right? At what point are we going to choose to develop our well-being into being a well-being? Because a lot of us are sick. Sick in the mind, sick in the spirit, sick physically, not eating right, not sleeping right. You know what I mean? Still doing things inappropriately and out of order. We just got to get better and do better. So we understand that a lot of these things are being normalized. Okay? And again, it's being taught to us. And it just play on words, how they say you always see, why is it this beautiful woman with this ugly guy? Or why does the nice girl, or why does a beautiful girl like the asshole, quote unquote, versus over the nice guy? You know what I mean? Just to play on words, the a-hole, asshole, and then everything that's being portrayed in regards to sex everything is about the anus, is about anal sex, and also taking the seeds out of the fruit and vegetables and things. It says a lot. It says a lot. When you think about everything overall that's being taught, it's just steps to bring forth the new Sodom and Gomorrah. As the scripture quoted, so as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the end of days. Well, right now, during this time, not only is there scat porn that deals with poop, that there's porn that deals with bestiality, there's gangbang, there's incest, there is all these different types of porn that is bringing in the new Sodom and Gomorrah. Is ushering it in. It's a form of mind control. It's a spiritual warfare and a chemical warfare against your body because they're trying to mess with DNA. This is a DNA warfare. You have demigods on this earth who are partially human, but who are of the seed of Satan, who are so smart, as you can refer to Egyptian hieroglyphs, where on the wall you have these snakes with legs giving offerings to a king. These snakes with legs are still here. They're just cloaked now. They have eyes, they have ears, they have a nose. And you wonder why there are cow mutilations and the anus is gone, the eyes are gone, the tongue is gone, the intestines is gone. There's not a drop of blood around the cow. They're taking organs. They're harvesting organs, not only in these animals. And you wonder why people go missing. You can't put anything past any of them. All they need is a body. All they need is a cloak. But there's a few things that always gives who they are up. The eyes are the windows to the soul, their character, their demeanor, how their spirit acts around you, the things they say. You should be able to know them by their fruit. But they're in this world to cause havoc on us. They're already here. They're already here. They're everywhere. They are everywhere. And they will reveal themselves. One day and very soon they will. It'll be the people that you least expect. I just pray one day that you could just see it and you could understand before it's too late. But we're living around a group of people who want to help bring this world to an end. They want to bring your world to an end. They don't want you to live right. They want to start you off saying that, oh, you can be a model. And then, they take photos of you. And then next thing you know, the modeling turns into nude modeling. And then next thing you know, you probably get caught up in the money trap because the money comes in. They say, oh, we just want to take some photos of you. Oh, just drop that shirt off your shoulder just a little bit. Okay, yeah, we should get a bikini shot of you. Get a bikini shot of you. Oh, spread your legs a little bit. Oh, bend over this way. Bend over. Next thing you know, it's all sexual now. Now, they ever ask you, have you ever done porn? Now they get you in porn somehow. They get you out at dinner. They spike your drink, put something in drink. Or they ask you, you invite yourself to lunch or dinner with them. You have drinks. Next thing you know, they're smoking a cigarette. They ask you if you want something. You say, nah, I don't smoke. They're like, oh, it won't hurt or whatever. You go, okay, I'll try it. You didn't know the cigarette was laced or something, you know what I mean? Now they got you hooked on drugs. Alcohol and drugs. So now you're dependent on the drugs and the money. And you're dependent on the money to get you drugs. And you have this whole circle of one thing leading to another. See, they're very subtle about how they're doing it. One thing leads to another. Don't think if you're just a model, you're just going to be modeling. One day, somebody is going to ask you to do porn. One day, somebody is going to ask you to do nude photos. Just totally forgetting that your very first scene can give you HIV, can give you that package, can give you all these STDs, or give you that blue waffle. But the whole dilemma is that in our mind, there's always someone that's better than us, right? There's someone that want to fill in your shoes. In the industry of porn, there's always someone that's younger and more sexier than you that's willing to do it. So from your mindset, you gotta fulfill your sexiness. Oh, I'm sexy, I can do it. They boost you up. You know you look good from whatever you got on or however your makeup is or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you do what it is to do to fill that part. Or to fill that void, rather. To get some income. And the guys are just as worse as in the industry. There aren't any straight guys in porn. Yeah, they may pay you $50 a scene, $30 for a guy. He probably really doesn't need to get paid. But then, after a few scenes, you're gonna get introduced somehow, some way to gay porn. I say, you can make 3 to 4 times the amount. You can make $3,500 per scene. You can make $5,000 per scene. Or hey, yeah, you could do straight porn or whatever, but have you ever thought about stripping? We need you at this club. Next thing you know, as a guy, you down at this club stripping, and you're in you're on some guy's lap dancing, yo. You're lap dancing for some guy for his birthday, man. And you supposed to be straight. You thinking it's all women to a club? No, but you forgot that this is a new world now. They got co-ed clubs. They got guys who want guys to dance for them. Oh, man. If you hold your hand straight out in front of you, hold your hand straight out like you're about to give a handshake. Like the number 5. Just spread your fingers all the way out. What's happening is a demise into the sexual organs of a man. The more he masturbates. If you hold your hand straight out, spread your fingers across, like you're stretching your hands. Stretch them to the sky. Just stretch your hands out. The thumb is the initial erection that you have when you're younger. Pee get all over the place like a newborn. When you gotta go pee, it pees upright. You know what I mean? The more and more you masturbate, the more and more you deteriorate that muscle. Even though it's a pretty good, strong muscle, and that it's still usable and it still does what it does as you erect, what's happening is there's different stages of your penis deteriorating, if you will. That muscle is not becoming as strong as it should be. It goes from thumb to index finger erection to middle finger erection where it's pointing straight out to the ring finger, to the pinky, to the point where your erection is just down low and not enough exercise is going to get it up to par just right. You need to stop whacking off. And ladies, even though you got all kind of remedies of lemons and lime and vinegar that you could soak in, let your frame be your frame. You don't have to, you know what I mean? You don't have to hit the pins, you know what I mean? You don't have to, stretch it out. A man what still wants to feel like he's yours, when y'all have that time in marriage. So just save yourself to be special, even no matter what you've been through in regards to having sex and watching porn and touching yourself. Today you can change if you ask the Most High to help you with your condition and to stop. It's just one day at a time. There's a lot of different things that we haven't been taught in regards to sex in general when it comes to different positions of sex and the energy that involves sex. Even though we know that common sense, sex makes you feel alive, it makes you feel great, it's pleasurable. It makes you hungry when you're done. You want to get a snack. You want to get something to eat. You know what I mean? And if you happen to get something to eat before sex, it makes you want to have sex. You got a full stomach and you're horny and you're around somebody and y'all got a connection. That could be a wrap, especially when drugs are involved, alcohol, whatever. sex is involved with different chakras. And there's things that are beneficial for us that we should save for that person that we're with, to save for our wife, for our husband, our significant other. When it comes to different sexual positions, it's almost like pulling the string on a lawnmower, priming it a little bit. When you got to go down on a lawnmower, I don't know if any of you are familiar or ever mowed the grass before, but on a lawnmower, there's a button that you push. Once you put the gas in the lawnmower machine, on a classic lawnmower, you push a nipple-like button on the machine a few times to actually prime the gasoline to circle the lawnmower's engine and different pipes and things. Okay, and once that goes around how it should, you should pull the string. But before you pull the string, you put the latch down, and then you pull the string, give it a few tugs, and go rum 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 rum. You know what I mean? The more tugs on the string, the more holdbacks, if you will, gives it just a little bit more. Pardon me. Gives it just a little bit more go in sex. Like, what I mean is like, if you're about to climax. Now, I'm not promoting this for those who are having sex who shouldn't be, who are fornicating. Let's just call it what it is. But for marriage, this should be saved for those who are married or who desire to be married and who are going to be getting married soon, or who have plans to get married. This is for information for you to know for marriage. Not for now, but just something that no one has probably never taught you before. But if you hold back during sex, it's sort of like a lawnmower. It's sort of like how the cars on a runway can have the gas pedal, have the brake pedal down, and they're just revving the gas, and you know they're revving the engine, vroom vroom. You know what I mean? What it's doing is there's different little stages that actually energizes and strengthens the body. So like right before you climax, instead of climaxing, like if a guy was to pull out and hold it and not climax, or for women, right before you climax, before letting yourself completely go during your climax, if you're to hold that moment and just pull away for a second, it actually strengthens the body. After the second hold, it strengthens the eyes and the ears. After the third hold back of not climaxing, you'll now strengthen and energize the immune system. After the fourth hold back, you'll energize the internal organs. After the fifth, it's your circulatory system. You'll get the good blood flow for your body. After the sixth hold back during sex, you'll be able to protect your arteries and your varicose system, your veins, your nervous system. After the seventh hold back, you'll be able to tone your whole muscular system. After your eighth hold back, you'll be able to heal all types of sickness, areas of sickness in your body. Once you get to the 10th hold back, you begin to become more spiritual and develop psychic-like abilities. So much so that all these different holdbacks can happen just in one day, or it can happen over a week's time or a year's time. But either way you do it, the more and more you do it, it develops your body in so many different ways that are so beneficial to you and your significant other, your partner, your wife, your husband. I'm trying to tell you something about sex, porn, and masturbation. you have it where there's different things that are not good for your body when it comes to sex. As far as men is concerned, it's better to stay away from starch, from grits, from sweeteners, the NutraSweet, Sweet and Low, um, dang on Equal, and all these other brand aspartame that's in these diet cokes, these diet sodas, different type of sugars. Those are not good for the reproductive system. It actually weakens the spermatozoa. It you need to eat more healthy, drink more water, eat more produce, you know, things of the such, and just the amount of minerals that you lose after ejaculation. You have to understand that some of the greatest athletes in the world, Muhammad Ali, just to name one, did not have sex for weeks before a fight. He would wait weeks. It's like, man, have you ever heard that if you have sex, you know, before a game or something, you shouldn't have sex before a game? It weakens your legs and all this stuff. It's truth to that. There's so many minerals and vitamins that are in sperm alone, like selenium and zinc and all these other important minerals to the body that we lose when we do these things. There's therapeutic values of the different positions when having sex. When it comes to missionary or doing doggy style or all this, there's different types of positions that are involved with the body that can actually help the body for both sexes. Like missionary position helps the spleen, strengthens the stomach, the digestive system. It helps with anyone that has diabetes or liver issues, blood and anemia, poor circulation. Helps with cramps. It helps with better menstruation cycle. There's all type of positions which we're not going to get into on this show that helps. It's more than Kama Sutra. It's more than breathing techniques. It's actually doing these positions that are better for the body. Like tethering two phones together. The energy circulates. A socket to a plug. The energy circulates. Oh, man. This porn, this masturbation is detrimental. This fornication is detrimental to our lives. We have to progress. We have to move forward. Just because you have a little toy doesn't mean that it's okay. Because you're not harming anybody, quote unquote. You're not being sexually involved for a venereal disease. That doesn't make you qualified to do it. Just because you have a license to drive, just because you don't have okay, how can I say? A person that knows how to drive a car doesn't necessarily need a license to know how to drive. But by law, it is required of us to have a license in order to drive a vehicle. And if you get caught without a license, then you get a ticket. In retrospect, when it comes to sex, even though you may know how to have sex every which and every kind of way, it does not make it right for you, since you know how to have sex, or since you know how to masturbate, or since you phone sex or sexed, rather, that doesn't make you qualified to have sex. In order to be qualified to have sex, you have to be married. And if we're caught having sex without being married, on the day of our death, then comes judgment. Just because they're sex dolls doesn't mean that it's okay to have sex. Because it's rubber, because it's not real. It's still a form of masturbation and self-gratification. You're still throwing your you're still throwing something of you away every time you do it. And having sex with a sex doll anyway is like necrophilia. It's like having sex with a dead person because there's nothing there. It's just dead, whether it talks or not. They have these robot dolls now where there's an artificial app that you could download that comes with the sex doll. You can program your sex doll to have a personality of being insecure, jealous, talkative, unpredictable, to ask you questions and things, to engulf with different conversations with you. This is the technology of our world. But the scripture is very clear. Be not deceived by the devices of the devil. There's a lot of devices in this world that are literally deceiving us. The TV, the images on your phone, they're all a part of this program that is programming you. We are biological computers. And what we put in our computer, what program we put in our computer, debates on how the computer may function. If you listen to rap music all day, of course you're going to repeat portions or verses from that rap song all day, like they probably doing at your job. If you're watching porn all the time, you're programming yourself to always watch porn and to think and to act a certain way and to have desires of certain things. We have to progress. We have to understand that we are in a system that is not our own, but is of the devil, who is of the prince and the power of the air. We fight not against flesh and blood, but powers and principalities. So we have to understand whenever we're going through a battle with ourselves, that is not a battle with ourselves. Man, I don't want to watch porn. Man, I don't want to fornicate. That is not a battle with yourself. You are going through a battle of spirituality. Just know that you can make it through regardless of what level you're on. Real TV.